All right, we are heading to first ever card show. There's a couple things that I want to accomplish today. So I would like to sell a card. I've got a couple of cards that I don't want anymore that are just kind of sitting around. So hopefully I can sell one of those. That'd be pretty sweet. I guess the last thing that I would want to accomplish today is to see how prevalent UFC cards are at card shows. I know I've heard other people kind of say the same sentiment where it's like very obscure and almost nobody has, legitimate collections of UFC cards. So that's kind of another goal, is to see if I can meet up with any other collectors that are into UFC and, try and trade, try and sell, try and buy, the whole gambit of things. Let's get a shot of this duck real quick before we start. All right, Eric.
All right.
Interview. What are you trying to get inside this card show?
Mainly browse, but maybe some baseball prospects. Some UFC. We'll see what the market's looking like since it's not that hot typically. So I'll be curious if there's a lot of people or not.
Yeah. Look at this backdrop. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I'm being very picky. I only want Gold Leon Edwards Prism 2021. Hoist Gracie, first auto, 2009, or maybe like a crazy John Jones.
So you got it like down to
yes, I'm probably not going to buy anything. Maybe a Shavkat Kaboom or something recent, but
yeah.
Most likely I'm thinking I'll probably just browse.
I'll just be curious how people wheel and deal, if it's just like they're pulling up their phone for eBay or... or what?
Yeah, just checking comps.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I'm not giving you that price because good luck.
Good luck, buddy. I also want to sell something. I don't even know how that works.
I don't either.
It'd be cool to sell a card.
We brought some stuff. We'll see.
All right, y'all.
All right.
We'll see you inside. Okay, we're now inside the Austin Card Show. I wasn't able to really get much footage here. It kind of felt weird filming with all these people around and all the movement, honestly. Now that having experienced that in person, I'm thinking of some different strategies to where if I ever go to one of these again, I think I'll probably have a solution to that. But instead, I just took some cool pictures of the cards that I liked. First up, we had this GSP Pro Set card, which is a Leaf. I think it's an unlicensed UFC card. So it's not technically a UFC card, it's just of GSP, but it's a really nice card. And it was 11 of 35. I really like that one because of the shot of, GSP in like the karate gi type uniform. I think that's pretty sick. Next up, we had actually talked to a dude that had a lot of relatively new Topps products, Topps 2024. He said he opened a case, I believe. So he had, Michael Morales Youthquake. He had a countdown of Max Holloway, some Generation Now, Fist of Fury, a lot of the different inserts, and he even had a gold style bender here, which was pretty nice. He also had a lot of base. I was thinking about maybe picking up a haul of like base Supergiant cards, but I kind of want, if I do want to complete that set, I want it to be a little bit more rare than the base. So I will probably go with the Refractor Supergiant instead. So I didn't end up picking up any of those. Next up at the next case we saw was a couple of really cool boxing cards. So up at the top, you got like the Buster Douglas, Oscar De La Hoya. You got the Mike Tyson auto in the middle, 1991. Joe Frazier, Roy Jones Jr. I like all of the boxing cards in the boxing world as well. So that was fun to see some of these. I also saw a really nice old Jack Johnson card. I forgot to take a picture of that, but it was super nice. And it was had to have been 50s or 60s. It was super old. And I really enjoyed seeing that. Next up we had in this case, really just a bunch of Panini era Topps cards. We had a couple Sean O'Malley. We had a couple Michael Bisping, Immaculate. We had some Don Russ here of Alexander Volkanovski. They did have what looked to be a pretty rare Daniel Cormier patch card. And looking at it now, I think it might be a 101 actually, which I wasn't aware of at the time. But that's pretty sick. I would have maybe even asked what his price was on that just out of curiosity, because that's a pretty nice one. And that looks like it's from tops, maybe museum collection. I'm not exactly sure, or triple threads. But that was really nice. Next up, we had this Rose Namajunas, and it was a Zhang Weili dual auto. This was a 2021 Immaculate, and Complex actually ended up buying this card. He bought this along with a Scotty Barnes rookie for $1,000. So that was a big haul for him, and a pretty cool deal. Dude, this next card is insane. It's not a UFC card, but it is an interesting card, and it is the Piggy Banks 1 of 1, and it's the Mount Rushmore. So to explain that, Piggy Banks is like an artist who instead of painting on canvas or whatever, he creates his art on cards. And the images that he creates range from pop culture to sports to whatever. But what he'll do is he'll either do a 1 of 1, which is like this card. He makes an image, he puts it in a case, good branding on it, and then he will sell that as a piece of artwork, and it's a 1 of 1. So it's just a really unique meld and mesh of different worlds. You've got art collecting, you've got sports collecting, and you've got just like the hobby it's encased. So it's almost like like a graded slab. It's just a really mix of a bunch of different worlds. And this custom card was just absolutely sick. I love the Greg Popovich, Robinson, Duncan, and Wemby all in one card. It was also like very gold. In person, it's much more gold than in the photo. It kind of just looks yellow here in the photo, but it was a absolutely beautiful card. And the vendor wanted $1,000 for it. He's a really big Piggy Banks fan. And honestly, I think it would be worth around that. I just love it. As a Spurs fan and growing up with Duncan being my favorite player, I think it's an absolutely sick card. Next up, we had the Epic 3, and this was the Mike Tyson auto, the Khabib auto, and the Chuck Norris auto. And that was a really funny card that I saw. Got 3 autos here. I believe it was on card as well. No, this is sticker auto, so not on card, but it was a 450, and I just thought it was an interesting card. You don't see too much UFC, but we do see some Khabib unlicensed autos sometimes, like this Leaf. So that was a fun one to check out. And next up, the mother of all the cards that I saw, the big boss. This was the Khabib first auto, the 2014 Topps UFC Knockout. And this was an 810 auto. So this is a very rare card. I asked about this one, and I was honestly, when I saw it, my heart rate went up a little bit, because this is a card that I'm trying to purchase within 2024, and it's really probably the top card of any other card that I would want is a Khabib first auto. And I was not expecting to see one, and we saw one. So I was talking with the guy, kind of gauging where he was on it, what he wanted for it, and he wanted $4,000 for this. So the last 8 that sold, it was just a PSA 8. It sold for like around 2,100, I believe. I'll find the comp and put it up here. And I was watching that card as well. So I was thinking if I could get this in person close to 2, I might have pulled the trigger on it. And it probably is worth a little bit more than 2, but you've got to consider if you're selling it in person, you're not getting the 13% from the eBay fees. You're getting it cash in hand. You don't have to worry about shipping or any of that. Nothing can happen. So, I didn't even try and counter because the $4,000 was too much. And honestly, I probably should wait a little bit longer into the year to spend that much money on this card. But I was really happy to see this there, and yeah, it was a great image, man. But we also met with Complex Zero, a dude that I talk to a lot online, and a guy that comments all the time. Found out his name is Jason. What's up, dude? It was good to see you today at the show and kind of talk cards. I'll throw a picture up right now of us. Me, him, and Eric just kind of chatted it up for 10 or 15 minutes at the card show, and was just curious to see what he was trying to buy, and just talking about cards. It was a good time. But yeah, now we'll flash to the exit interview with Erik. First off, check out these kicks, dude.
Whoa.
The Italian leathers. Look how fast they are. do a little kid and go run.
I can't
go run
right
across the street
now.
for me. All right, so exit interview. How was it? What do you think? Did you buy anything?
Didn't buy anything. It was nice. It was big. not like huge, but way more vendors than I was expecting.
Yeah, pretty big building here in the
UFC wise, not big at all, but we kind of just said that coming in. What, three tables UFC people?
Yeah, so I would venture to say it was. I think it was a success, honestly, though, for UFC. I mean, I was not expecting much, but I saw maybe 3 boxes full, maybe 4 boxes total, which is not a lot, but a little more than I expected. There's one table that was like almost all, and then the rest were just hodgepodge. So you didn't buy anything? Did you see anything that you even thought about buying?
No.
I saw there was a JDM. Oh, I'm flipping it. There was a JDM. I guess I can just give it to you.
Oh, you're right.
Fucking film
Me
guy.
Behind the lens.
Director Tarantino.
I'll just talk over you the whole time.
Interrupting halfway. No, there was a gold JDM up 10 that I almost bought, but the guy wanted 40 for it. It was a napkin patch, or else I probably would have pulled the trigger. Also saw, I think I showed it probably earlier in the editing process, but a Khabib first auto, which I've been wanting to get for a while, but the guy wanted $4,000 for it. $4,000. I ain't paying that.
That's insane.
But overall, I think it was a fun experience. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was like going to a humongous card shop. Just a ton of people.
I'm sure it wasn't as big as like Dallas, or definitely not the National, or even some of the Cali card shows, but for it being the first ever like big Austin card show, hopefully it was a success so they can do it more and it can keep growing.
Yeah.